Welcome back to Corona Chronicles. We started yesterday in Revelation chapter 12 and we saw some amazing scenes there, rich with Old Testament imagery, looking at this woman standing for the people of God, this child who is going to be a baby yet a ruler, and one that is also under attack from an evil one. And we're carrying on that scene, and we're going to spend some more time thinking about that. So we're in chapter 12 and we're just going to read verse 7 to 9. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. The great dragon was hurled down, that ancient snake, called the devil, or Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him.
Well, it's the next part of the story, or in one sense we've gone back even further, haven't we? Because Revelation doesn't really deal with things chronologically. But we've got this, what is called a war in heaven, between obviously good angels that are following God and angels that are following Satan, and there's this war going on. Now we can't be absolutely sure in all the details that are going on, but we know that Satan is a dragon. We know that he is the ancient snake. We know he's called the devil, Satan, and he has power in the sense that he can lead the whole world astray. But he has no power in the sense that he's the one thrown out and hurled down, and he can only really reign in time on this earth.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think one of the ways it's easy to go wrong in Revelation is to try to take everything as a kind of, as you say, chronologically in a historical order, and everything means this, and to try to put together timescales, which is not really how it's written, and people can get quite confused when they try to do that. But nonetheless, the realities that it's describing are real, aren't they? And what's clear here, as you say, is that Satan did have a sort of position in heaven, and although the Bible isn't in wanting to give us the full backstory there, it's not wanting to give us everything, it's just explaining this reality, isn't it? But that Satan, for whatever reason, was thrown out of heaven and were hurled down to the earth, and as you say, there's power there to lead people astray. Paul says in other places that Satan has blinded the minds of unbelievers. That to live in this world is to breathe in his lies and to turn away from God. So he definitely has, under God, because it's not a dualism, is it?
No.
This is the thing. So in a lot of Eastern thought and mysticism and religion, there are two equal and opposite powers in the universe. One is good, one is evil.
Yeah.
And there's a constant tussle. And one minute it looks like so-and-so is in control, but then the next minute... The Bible is never painting that kind of picture.
No.
God is always sovereign. Satan is a created being, but for a time, has a power and authority in this world to do what he loves to do, which is to turn away from God, isn't it?
And I just on that, because you get this in the whole of Revelation, and actually particularly in chapter 12 is... It's not a God either that's just responding. So evil happens, God responds. Because there's a whole lot of talk, isn't there, on the internet? Why does God allow?
Yes.
Sort of thing, and you sort of think, well, hold it. It's not that God is just sort of allowing; He's just responding. God is in control. And he's even in control of Satan here. And so he allows this rebellion and this strong beast, but he's thrown down. And his only place of any power now is time, space, this world. So God is in control, definitely, even though Satan is real.
And as we saw yesterday, this hurling down is in some way connected to this child, isn't it?
Yeah.
The birth and the reign and the death and the resurrection of Jesus Christ is essential to God's victory plan.
Yeah.
And Satan is defeated in Christ. We saw that yesterday from Genesis 3. You know, right from the very beginning, it's the proto gospel, if you like. Jesus is going to come and he's going to crush Satan, and so his hurling down and his defeat is connected to the reign of this child, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the amazing thing, isn't it, about Satan? He seems to be mad with anger, but his madness against Christ and against Christ's people actually is God working out his plan. So he kills the Christ, but Christ at that point takes the sin of the world and then rises again. So he bites Jesus' foot, but Jesus' foot crushes his head.
Yeah,
the very place he's bitten.
Yeah, and he knows he's defeated. It's interesting in the Gospels, isn't it? When the demons come to Jesus and they'll say, "Have you come to torture us before the appointed time?"
Yeah.
You know, they know there's a day coming where they're going to be defeated and they're going to be completely destroyed forever. And this is just, I think, as you've described it before, it's like a beast with his head chopped off. You know, in many ways they're more dangerous because he's thrashing around. He's been hurled down. He's angry. It's like a toddler who knows he can't get what he wants, and so he's going to rip his toy room to pieces and throw his toys down. It's just a way of expressing his anger at the authority, isn't it? But
Yes, I was watching a nature program yesterday, and it was talking about this particular cockroach, and you can cut its head off, but it's also got a brain in its stomach or something as well. And even though its head is cut off, it still comes at you.
Yeah,
it can't see or eat. Yeah, but it's still alive because it's got another. And it's sort of like the fatal blow has happened with Satan, but he's still coming. So that gives us hope in this world because we're not dualist, and we're not over to Satan. Satan will not win. He's going to be, extinguished. I think we better leave it there.